All right. Welcome to the Cherish Ball Champions Power Rankings. This is the first kind of non-interview content for the league. I am the host, Spades, as usual. My guest for the Power Rankings installment is none other than Nightfront, the Typhlosion / Cyndaquil expert, as everyone's seen. And yeah, how are we doing, good sir?
We are all right. Just enjoying not having to play Reg F.
Lucky you. But the people who are in this get to play Reg F, and we get to judge their teams.
And this is why I didn't sign up.
Because you can talk all the hate you want. I can't, because if I talk a single lick of hate and then get trounced, I won't hear the end of it.
I also, like I said, just don't want to play Reg F. I think that's the real win.
Yeah, that's fair. But for this this division in particular, what we do is we highlight the premier format of the entire era of SV. Reg F was the only one that made sense. So, all right, let's get the show on the road as I have my second screen set up with the power rankings. So this is a nice slideshow presentation here that we have some criteria. So we're not just going into this blind as normally when I do my power rankings, is I kind of look at the team and then come up with crap to say. Now I already have that stuff to say. So we looked at 4 criteria for judging these teams: the balance of the teams, the versatility, the power, and the utility. So why don't you go ahead and describe a little bit more as to what we're looking for in each category?
Okay, we'll start with balance since it's first. So for balance, we're looking for types, huge part of it, types and what they can do, how well those balance, as well as how well your stats balance. Like if you have all Pokemon with 500 defense, that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter when you face a special attacker if they all have like 50 special defense. So
Yep.
that is factored in as well as just how the overall team flows together. We didn't consider a ton of in-depth synergy, but some basic things like Sand Setter plus
Yeah.
Sand Abuser, stuff like that is also
Mm-hmm.
minorly
It's
considered.
not so much about the specific mons. It's more so looking at type charts and looking at the stats, right? So you want your speeds to be all aligned well. You want your typings to work together. You don't want to overcrowd some types, for example, or like make one mon have to tank so many types because it's your only resistance for a couple types. So that's what we're looking for, I guess, in balance.
And then versatility is how many sets can a Pokemon viably run in a draft? Because in a draft league, you know exactly what your opponent can bring, so there's only so many limited options. So if your Pokemon can do 5 different things, that's extremely valuable in draft. For example,
Mm-hmm.
let's use
Dragapult.
what's a good example?
Dragapult is the
Dragapult is an
one.
example. Dragapult has a ton of different sets, so does Arcanine, but then there are some Pokemon like Okie dokie, it really doesn't have a support set. It's pretty much
Mm-hmm.
just the all-in offense set. So that would be lower in the versatility ranking than, say, the
Mm-hmm.
Arcanines or the
I
Dragapults.
would say like Urshifu is another example too, where it's gonna kind of do one thing for the most part, and that variability is like, oh, I have a scarf, I have a sash, I have a band, so like that's gonna obviously score lower than what we have. So yeah, we are going to hate on Snarl Okidogi. I didn't even know it got Snarl. That's funny.
I did. It's a dog. All the dogs get snarl.
They just have to all
Ugh.
scream as loud as they can. Just it's not even like barking or it's like they're like hissing. That's what it is.
But yeah, that's what that one is. It's basically how many sets. One coverage move change does not really indicate a different set either. So it's overarching how many different game plans can the mon as a whole pull off, basically.
Yes.
And then for power, it's just how strong are you and how effectively can you apply that power.
Mm-hmm.
The example I like to use with this is Rampardos has 165 attack, but it's slow and frail. It's not going to be able to use that nearly as well as say a Fluttermane, which is fast, has good special bulk, good
Mm-hmm.
really just can
Exactly.
apply that pressure a lot easier than say a Rampardos.
Yeah, I think there's not much more to add to that. It's how quickly can you hurt things, and how effectively can you hurt them. So, pretty self-explanatory.
And then utility, it's pretty much what support options can you run, how many Pokemon on your team can have them. For example, if you have one Pokemon with 18 support options, sure, that'll score some points, but having five Pokemon with 3 to 4 options will outweigh that
Hmm.
easily.
Yeah, I mean, essentially how I scored these, or do you hit like a lot of the notable VGC support options, Fake Out, Tailwind, Follow Me, Intimidate, those kind of things, screens. And like you said, do you have more than one Mon that can do these, or is it all reliant on one? So that's partially what's going into that score. So,
Uh, Another move I personally like to throw in there is stuff like Will-O-Wisp and Thunderwave. Stuff
very
like
good
that
moves.
that helps slow the game plan down. Even Snarl and Breaking Swipe can fall under utility, or Struggle Bug in the case of a few Pokemon. But just stuff like that that's meant to either accelerate your game plan or disrupt the opponent's without really being powerful attacks.
Yeah, sounds about right. All right, so we have laid the groundwork or the foundation, and now let's put some supports in and some whatever. We're gonna start with the red division because it's first, red then black. So we have the draft order, what shows here, but that is not how they're presented. As we independently ranked all the teams based on the criteria, we averaged our scores, and then they are ordered from 12 to 1. That is how we have done it. And we will begin with, sadly, number 12, but I will say that each of these teams are still very strong, very capable of winning. It's just, we're here to shit on you. I don't have another way to put that. All right.
Except for a few teams. A few of you you will get high praise.
Yeah. And we begin with the number 12, which is odd to say about our Urshifu Rapid Strike. But we have Oxawave and his night. Oh God, you told me how to pronounce this either like a while
I believe
ago.
it's Nai Mayhem. I believe is how you say
Either
it.
way, his logo is S tier. But we have a team of Incineroar, Urshifu Rapid, Amoonguss, Gudra Hisui, Pelipper, Raichu, Slacking, Florges, Bronzor, and a Coughing. So we can see our individual scores here. I can speak to all mine because I have notes. And yeah, let's go through I guess our balance score. So what I wrote for balance was if we remove the two F tiers of the team, which is the Bronzor and the Coughing, there are three ground weaknesses with one immune, and the fastest mon is 110. That is my notes.
Yeah, so for me this thing was it's banking a lot on its water types and rain to really pull off a lot of its strength.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just very exploitable. Slacking is inherently exploitable, especially when you have coughing instead of wheezing. Like you get a violet
Mm-hmm.
maybe, but then you're also considering a violet, bronzor, and coughing together, which just it hurts the overall team. Like I like the top three. I think the top three really solid. Could maybe use a little bit more pressure, but Urshifu applies a lot of that, and
Mm-hmm.
Incineroar has a good attack stat. But it's just what does the team do outside of that? Like, where's any pressure coming from?
Yeah, and I would say like typing wise, the team is pretty alright with the typings too. Like Instant Amoonguss cover each other pretty nicely. Urshifu Rapid is nice, and actually sniping the Amoonguss so that you don't have to face it with Urshifu Rapid is pretty funny as well. Um, but yeah, if we move along to the versatility score, I would say a lot of these Mons run very similar sets a lot of the time.
Like, the versatility in this team is Raichu.
Yes, and Raichu's kind of your main, like, kind of fast, supporty option. But then everything else is, yeah, it's predictable, but it's powerful. I'm not going to sit here and say Urshifu Rapid's bad, Incineroar's bad, Amoonguss is bad. It's just that it's predictable. So in our scoring system, it's low in versatility.
Yeah, I mean it's a one set team outside of the two Mons. It's just those one sets are really good.
Exactly, yeah. Going to power then, I mean, Urshifu and Rain does infinite amount of damage. Slacking with Coughing can do infinite amount of damage. Aside from that, we're trying to kind of set up the Pelipper to be able to do enough. The Incineroar to set up. Raichu's going to have to help, and then Florges can, I guess, help in that sense too.
Like,
But
I mean, the
yeah.
next best offensive Mons here are the Gudra and the Incin after the two big offensive threats, really. And
Mm-hmm.
like they have good at offensive stats, but then you're committing Incineroar to offense. which could potentially hurt. And Gudra isn't so strong that it's going to overwhelm a team.
Mm-hmm. But what this team can do is support the Gudra to set up its iron defenses or shelters and start body pressing everything. And with Life Dew, it's a bulky team. Like, it's definitely bulky. And it's not as much immediate pressure other than the Urshifu, but it does have kind of that staying power, which is what makes it still strong.
Yeah. The only thing there is you can also Pollen Puff it, which is a nice extra benefit with the Amoonguss. Pollen Puff is a viable option for that healing as well. But that falls under the not super easy to apply consistently part, which was why Rampardos wouldn't score as highly as the Fluttermane, for example, in power.
Yeah. And then utility-wise, I mean, we have a lot of fake-outs. We have the Amoonguss, which is great at supporting. We have some Lightning Rod, some Life Dew, Pollen Puff stuff. So I think the utility score is a little low than what it should be, but we started ranking this team first, so maybe the scores get a little carried away. But it does have like some good support options. Maybe the speed control being a little slow, but other than that, it's like...
I think my problem with the utility is it's all in like one or two Pokemon here, not counting Coughing or Bronzor, I guess, here. Because like they have support options, but how often are you bringing them, and you can't bring them together really, because then you're just letting one of them die.
But like Raichu can support really well, Moongus and Incineroar can support really well, Pelipper can set Tailwind, Gudra can Life Dew. Like there's definitely a lot of mons that can do something for utility wise. It's really just about getting to use those, and it seems fat enough to do it. So that is the Oxawaves team, as we've put it. We will move along now to number 11 in our list, which is Ashy's team and his Origin Strike Braviary. He went with the Dozogiri, the Thunderous Incarnate, Ogerpon, Bronzong, Hariyama, Chandelure, Fezandipiti, Quillfish, and Cinccino. He actually didn't draft Tatsugiri right away and then made trades to complement that. So this is the new team. We gave the balance score a 4.5. Actually, I rated it pretty high. You rated it pretty low. The only thing I said about the balance-wise is hitting grass types is pretty hard. But like everything else still kind of works.
Yeah, so in this team, I'll be honest, I liked it before the trades more. I think it was a lot better before the trades.
He's a Tatsu hater. That confirmed.
It's not even the Tatsu. I think you downgraded in order to pick up the Tatsu, which is it's very easy to deal with the Tatsu when you know it's coming and don't have to prep for 50 other things like you would in a standard format. So like it's very easy to tech a just haze onto a random mon or something like that. And just grass types in general also give this team problems. But like you gave up T-Tar Excadrill, which I think is T-Tar in particular, less so on the Excadrill, in order to acquire this setup, and I think the only trade I really liked was the Alecki to the Thunderous Eye, as I do think that helps enable this. But I think as a whole, like, you're giving up T-Tar, you're giving up Tornadus T, you're giving up a bunch of options here that I think really help the team succeed if you were just playing solo Dozo.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Hariyama Bronzong kind of stuff too, and I think Ogerpon Teal is pretty nice as well, being able to kind of deter Intimidate. Because Intimidate is one of the ways to beat Dozo, or at least try to. It has an ability they can set, but Ogerpon deters that more, which is nice. Hariyama's good on that side as well. It's more on the physical end, but Thunderous at least can carry that. Chandelure is pretty strong on that side too. Fezandipiti kind of less so, but I think that there's a lot more to it than what we're initially saying here. But Thunderous is a really strong support mon and can do a lot. It's one of the kind of high versatility mons, which is what the versatility score is for. I think we were pretty close on these. Versatility-wise, like, Thunderous is going to be carrying kind of the versatility here of what it's going to do.
Yeah, I think, I'll be honest, you absolutely saved this team. This team was not high on my ratings at all.
I like it, Ashy. We can go through that. I like it.
Like, my problem is, it's just it's very one-dimensional unless you're trying to go Bronzong Hariyama, which I don't think is gonna take over a game the way some other combos will that we'll see later in the draft. And I think that's just where my problems lie is what is this team doing that gives it an edge over anything else?
I mean, really, it's just the kind of wild card mentality, right? Like, there is a lot that this team can realistically do. Is a lot of it powerful? Maybe not as much, but if you can set up the Dozogiri combination with any two of these, if you get any value out of the other two, and he's got actually a lot more options than we think with, like, Follow Me Ogerpon can set up, like, a Scarf Chandelure, for example, or, like, Pheasantipity can start toxic poisoning things, and then you whittle them down, and then you get to your late game Dozo. Like, there are outs, I think, to get to your Dozogiri with this team that are kind of unconventional in the normal sense of, like, we're using Glamora to get poisons, we're using Golden Go with Talonflame, like, just taking up some Reg F or Reg E or whatever regulation those were. For example, that's what Dozogiri teams were before. It's, I have a really fast Mon, I have a strong special attacker, I'm going through those, like, that's kind of your modes. This team has different modes than those, and I think they're still workable modes, but are they as powerful? That's my question.
I do like the Chandelure personally. I am going to address the Defiant thing. Yeah, it has Defiant, but once Dozo's established, I can intimidate that all I want, because you can't bring Ogerpon onto the field.
Yeah. Thunderous is Defiant too, for what it's worth.
there might be that might come up. I won't dismiss that.
That is really funny. All right, power wise, as a 6, which is solid. I mean, again, like, you have a Chandelure with 140 something special attack. Dozo is powerful in its own right. Ogerpon with Terra Grass gets faster than things and hits hard. Hariyama with Get Burned is pretty strong. I think, again, it's way too on the physical end, because, like, Thunderous doesn't do as much immediately, but it can Nasty Plot. Like, that's the thing. You have Ogerpon and you have Nasty Plot Thunderous, so you can do some crazy stuff there.
If you're willing to click Wild Bolt Storm, it can do some damage.
We could probably set rain somewhere on this team. It can set its own rain.
The Thunderous.
And then Quillfish just swim, starts killing things, and then you click Wild Bolt Storm. And...
I imagine Dozo gets Rain Dance. You just run Rain Dance Dozo.
Well, Tatsu probably does, and that's the mon that you'll use much faster too.
Yeah. I guess just Scarf Rain Dance Tatsugiri. Set up Rain when Thunderous dies, you switch into Dozo.
Yeah. Then the utility score, this is one we differed a lot. My thoughts are, we have Follow Me, we have a Thunderous, which can do a ton, we have some Fake Out, we have Trick Room, we have Tailwind. So, like, we checked all the boxes that I had for it, and it's not really all on one mon, but I think the mon that does come for it kind of telegraphs it. I thought it did well, utility-wise. So,
like, my utility here is you've got 2 Trick Room setters, you have Follow Me, I guess, on Ogerpon, but then you're wasting one of your valuable offensive threats in a lot of games to Follow Me on a turn. Like, there are times when it's absolutely worth it. It's just, it's very situational. And then Thunderous, obviously. Thunderous is utility.central there. Nothing to say about that, but it's just, there's not a ton of utility spread out amongst the rest of the team, I think.
Yeah. It's going to be a wild card team. It's whatever Ashy plans to do with it, and if he can get value out of his other 2 and Dozogiri wins, that's how he's going to win a lot of his games. All right. Wait. Oh, I have to click the button now. All right, we will move to number 10, which is Flap. So he has chosen the Whimsicott Golden Go Urshifu Single Strike, which 3 S tiers. He's like the pioneer of that. He won last season Ultra Ball doing something similar. Iron Moth, Blastoise, Mudsdale, Jolteon, Weirdeer, his goat, Scraggy, and Cramorant. The balance scores, what was my balance score versus what you had? Actually, we were basically right on with it. My notes are ground switches look grim, especially with 2 of the better special attackers being weak to it. Speeds and offenses, though, are pretty balanced, in my opinion.
Yeah, the ground switch-ins on this team are Whimsicott, known for its bulk, obviously, and then Cramorant. So, don't know
Very
how
known
you're
for its
switching in.
bulk.
I don't know how you're switching into ground types. Um, which is
Prayers. Terra flying. We did it.
air balloon is the actual answer.
Ah,
Just
yeah. I mean,
rip
it
a set
doesn't
straight.
matter if you like kill people, right? Because Golden goes really strong, Urshifu single strike's really strong, and then Moth can do a ton of damage. And that's where we kind of go down the line to versatility here, with a lot of it kind of being. Well, actually, I have my notes for versatility. I have Whimsicott can do a lot of different things. Dango has two wide sets it can do, which is a bulky setup, or it can just do Scarf slash Specs and just do infinite damage. Other than that, everything else is pretty standard, I would say,
I
with what it
mean,
likes to do.
there's a little bit of utility coming from the Jolteon, the Scraggy, and the Blastoise, but there's not a ton. I'd say Jolteon is the second most utility on this team, outside of the Whimsicott. So that really hurts that score.
Yeah. But power is where this team gets its name, as we went to an 8.5 on the power. I'm not here to argue with Shifu and Dango not being powerful, so my score will reflect that. I actually went lower on power than you, which is odd.
Yeah, no, this is one of the times where I was the higher score.
How do you do
There are
such a
quite a few
thing?
of them later in the thing, but this is the first one early.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just EV to all special defense or all physical defense. Like, you can tear out a dark to. You can't really tear out a dark. You can't tear out a steel. You can't tear out a water. Well, you probably could tear out a water more effectively, but then you're still taking wicked blows. Like, there's not really a safe Terra, I would say, on this team. Maybe water, you could
Um,
say, but like everything else just hits way too hard.
yeah, I mean, Goldengo, Urshifu, Iron Moth, and then even Mudsdale all hit like a truck.
Yeah. Uh,
Like, and then Blastoise and Jolteon have some decent offense. The rest of the team, not so much. Though, don't underestimate Whimsicott's offense, I guess, because it does at least hit pretty hard if you
mhm.
invest.
And then for utility wise, we varied a lot. I just said Whimsicott can do a bunch of different things. It's going to be the main utility mon, but there's a Blastoise that can have fake out and life do stuff, so we can keep everything but Golden Go alive. I don't know if Golden Go stops life do. Do you know this?
Uh,
I'm gonna
I
say it
believe it.
does. It stops it. Like it doesn't heal from it,
Give
but
me 1 second to check something
okay.
while I have more
Golden Go's
tabs
ability is
available.
weird because like you can haze it, you can't perish song it. So
It
what can
it it doesn't, as far as I'm aware.
okay?
It
So
only, as far as I'm aware, only water absorbed storm drain and dry skin will stop it.
oh, so you can life do it?
You can,
Oh,
yes.
okay. Its ability's so weird. Uh, Other than that, you have Jolteon, which can do some stuff. You have Intimidate. Yeah, I mean it has the stuff. It just does it want to be doing a lot of that stuff? Not
Like
really. It just wants to attack.
it's Whimsicott and Jolteon as and Scraggy as the utility,
Well,
with
Blastoise, but yeah.
some fake out and life do from Blastoise and maybe a Will-O-Wisp from the Iron Moth in certain matchups. This team is not known for its utility. It is not meant to be either. It is meant to put a hole in you.
Yes, this team is going to put holes in people. And let's go to the next one. Not that button, this button. All right, we have JP and his Slateport Slack Kings with the Raging Bolt, Grimmsnarl, Farigiraf, Mamoswine, Talonflame, Registeel, Wheezing Galar, Gigas, Trevenant, and Cottony. Where are my notes for JP? Oh, we varied way more than I thought. What the?
Yeah, this was one of the biggest pieces of variance, I
So
believe, between
balance,
these
we
two.
we were pretty close though on. I would say I said missing a water
Yeah.
type, given the fire type. Wait,
Yeah, fire types kind of blow through this. Ground types can
oh yeah, yeah,
honestly,
that's what this
fighting
was for.
types.
So no water type, and your fire type doesn't tank real well, so you don't have a great fire weakness, I would say. And the thing that you have to hit fire types is weak to fire.
Yeah. And like Raging Bolt takes it. Um, Raging Bolt takes fire moves decently well, but then you're relying on Raging Bolt to be defensive instead of the offensive mon it really wants to be.
Mm.
And then this team also, it has three of its main Mons here in Mamoswine, Registeel, and Gigas. They're all weak to fighting as well, and that could be exploited pretty easily. Like you have Grimsnarl and Farigiraf. Well,
Well,
Farigiraf's neutral.
Grimmsnarl, neither of them resist fighting.
Yeah, well, Grimsnarl to hit fighting types, and you have Trevenant to
Okay.
be immune, and Weezing resists fighting. But it's still, if you get into the wrong position or are facing an Urshifu Rapid, Urshifu Rapid by itself, outside of the Raging Bolt, runs through this team.
But Raging Bolt is one of the better Urshifu answers, so there
Raging
is
Bolt and
that.
actually Trevenant is a decent answer as well.
That is a funny one. All right, versatility wise, we went kind of weird on that. So my notes are, I think Raging Bolt is a lot more versatile than people think, just because the sets are you can't gauge its bulk or its power until you see its item and really its move sets. That Mon I think does a lot more variance than people think. Because of that, it can be Assault Vest with Snarl, Electroweb stuff. It can be Calm Mind leftovers, or it can be Specs Magnet or Protos or Booster Energy and start ripping through people. So those are kind of three distinct, I would say, modes of Raging Bolt. Grimmsnarl has a lot of versatility in its support. So you can be a Screens Mon, you can be Fake Tears and start blowing stuff up, or you can do my favorite one, which is Bulk Up. That one's pretty fun too.
The bulk up
And
one.
then,
The bulk up one is actually fun. I'll give you that.
and then
Like,
Farigiraf can do the Wolfie Farigiraf, or it can do the kind of more supporty Farigiraf. So that one can go both ways. I don't know. I liked those top three as kind of being matchup swingers. Everything else I can agree is pretty low versatility. But those three you can really tune to whatever matchup
I
you
actually
want.
think the most versatile Mon in this team, other than Grimmsnarl, might be the Trevenant. Because Raging Bolt, well, yes, it has those different sets. They are answered by very similar Pokemon, so you don't have to change your answer really
Mm-hmm.
based on what set it's running.
All right.
And as for the rest of it, Talonflame offers some utility or versatility with its set. It can be offensive or defensive, but you're not really maximizing Talonflame like that, so it's just a matter of how much can it actually do in a given matchup.
Yeah. Power wise, I mean, Raging Bolt, Mamoswine are very powerful. And then Regigigas, of course, does a lot of damage too. You split the kind of physical and special stuff really nicely because Raging Bolt and Farigiraf can do the special damage you need. And then the Gigas and the Mamoswine can do the physical too. So, yeah, it's got enough power. It doesn't need more.
Yeah, it has some main offensive threats, but if you can answer those, you can deal with the rest of the team pretty effectively.
Mm-hmm.
But it at least does have those threats that you're forced to answer.
Yeah. The utility then, actually, this was the first 10 that I gave out for utility. I thought we checked all the boxes that we kind of needed. We have Fake Out, we have priority moves, we have Tailwind, we have Screens, we have burning things with Trevenant, we have damage reduction. I thought we had everything we needed, so I gave it a perfect 10.
That's fair. My thing was in order for it to get a 10 from me, I felt like almost every Mon on the team, outside of maybe one or two, had to have reasonable utility to use. So I didn't give out a single 10 for utility to any team. This was, I believe, this was on one of the higher ends for me with an 8. I didn't give out many 8s or 9s either, so.
Nah, we have everything we need. We even have a Farigiraf to stop opposing priority, which is something a lot of teams don't have because there's not a lot of good options.
And nobody picked Serena as far as I'm aware.
Because that Mon is garbage. All right, let's go to the number 8 team, which is Harry and his Ogerpon Cornerstone, Shenpao, Gouging Fire, Azumarill, Metagross, Scrafty, Thundurus T, Gengar, Fletchinder, and Venonat. We were spot on with the 7. We both gave it a 7. I said it was way too physical, but the speed is good. The type synergy is actually pretty solid as well.
Yeah, type synergy is fantastic. It does have two really strong special attackers towards the end there, which helps offset the all physical. But yeah, it is a highly physical team. I agree with that, which is part of why it didn't score higher. This is a team that overall you actually dragged its score down, surprisingly.
How does I do that? What?
I,
Oh,
I had
you
it
were the
higher than.
one who lifted it up, but we were spot on with the 7. We both believed in the 7.
Yes, yes. This was one of the odd teams where you dragged it down.
Well, I
There are a few
dragged
of
it
those.
down a point with versatility. I gave it a 2 because this team is extremely one-dimensional to me.
I Gengar has a few sets.
We're clicking
The gout.
buttons and we're
So
going to blow people up. That's
the
what
the
you're
vers
doing.
the versatility on this team is in three Pokemon. It's in the Gouging Fire, which actually has a lot of sets. It has a really good bulky support with Morning Sun that nobody ever plays. More people should play that set. Scrafty obviously has got a lot, and then it's Gengar has some utility along with Thundurus, just because Thundurus still has all the same utility as the other form, just no prankster to abuse it, which might be relevant against some dark types.
Yeah. I just was really mean when we're rating his team for some reason. I don't know. Harry, do better. All right, power. I gave him a 9 for power. Okay, you gave him a 10 for power. I mean, yeah, I'm not one to argue with that. I think 10 is reasonable. This team just hits like a truck.
I don't know how the more defensive oriented teams are going to deal with this. Like, it's got
Yeah.
every type that can hit for pretty much within reason,
Mm-hmm.
and like everything is hitting hard and then harder when Chien-Pao's on the field.
Mm-hmm. I guess the only thing is that you have to use Thunderous where you can to stop people from just using max defense against you. Uh, but
Or Gengar.
regardless, this team does hit like a truck, and I'm not going to argue with the truck. Utility,
I believe we were spot on with this one.
we were as well. How did I drag the score down? I don't know.
Uh,
I didn't drag it down that
Uber-
much. My total score
no,
was
it
a
was like
23.
it was like 2 points
All
for
right.
mine, but yeah.
So my notes for the utility: the F tiers are your redirection and your tailwind. Um, Follow Me is present, and Gengar can help, but it's a Gengar. I hate Gengar. I will just say it. People have
So
come to me or whatever. It's like, Gengar's great. I should draft Gengar. And then when we start prepping, it's like, I want to use Gengar. And we play mock games. It's like, wait, I don't want to use Gengar. That's always how Gengar works, in my
yeah,
opinion.
so see, this is why you draft Mega Gengar in 2015 and don't worry about it.
Brother. The savior to Gengar. All right. Harry, I want you to do this. You want to convince me, my PayPal I'll send to you. You can start sending me money, and once you hit the right number, I will give you the Mega Stone. You can use Mega Gengar on your team.
But okay, slight problem with that. You have to send 10% of that to me.
I don't know if that means the price has gone slightly up now.
That's fine. I just get 10%.
All right. That was my notes on the utility. Do you have anything else to add that I didn't add?
I mean, like I said, the utilities in the Gouging Fire, the Thunderous, Follow Me from the Ogerpon, and the Gengar,
There's a
the
Scrafty too. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, surprisingly, Venonat has Rage Powder. And Fletchinder is Tailwind, but I would not rely on Fletchinder on this team to do anything.
Fletchinder to me, and this is how I view this Pokemon. It's like, all right, sure, it has Prankster Tailwind, or not Prankster, but you get the point. What am I sacrificing to bring Fletchinder over something else that's better? Like,
And also, if it gets faked out, what are you doing?
exactly. I mean, you can cloak it, but then you don't do anything because it's not fast enough. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a Fletchinder. I don't know. All right, we move along to number 7, which is Patino. I know how to say that now. Thank you from the interview. We have Waterpon, Arcanine Hisui, which has grown on me the more I've played Reg F. Landorus I, Iron Jugulus, Komao, Pachirisu, Comfey, Reuniclus, Lucario, and Frostmoth. The first team I think we've seen with 0 F tiers, which is shocking to me. All right, balance. Where is Patino? I gave him... Oh, we were very different. I said stat spread is good. The typings work together. Just too many 4x weaknesses. So maybe my score is a little high from that sense.
Yeah,
But
it's for me. It's an ice type. Outside, like if you're relying on your ice type resist, are Lucario, Arcanine, Hisui, and Frostmoth. And like if that ice type move is freeze dry, the Ogerpon is just gone as
yeah.
well.
I would
So
say the
like
other thing too is we're using 4x weak Pokemon to tank hits for other 4x weak Pokemon. Like Como needs, a fairy resist. Your fairy resist comes from Arcanine, which is weak to ground. So your 4x weak to ground. Landorus is your answer to that. Oh, it's weak to ice 4x. So like everything just kind of feels a little
which
weird.
Como was also weak to back in that cycle.
Exactly. So maybe my score is a little high on the balance in that case. But the
Like,
stat spread is really good. The
I do
stat
like the
spread's
stat
great.
spread. Yeah, I do like the stat spread. Overall, I think the typings work well. It's just how they're applied together doesn't really work super well.
Everything else,
Uh,
though, I like how the special damage looks, the physical damage looks. I like the speeds. We have a booster speedmon. We also have a nice tricker mode. So we
I
have
think
slow stuff for that.
I think the Frostmoth could be a better ice resist, in all honesty, with that slot, and maybe the Lucario as well. I feel like, especially with you already having the fighting type in Como, I feel like there's something you could have done there to overall improve the team. Um,
All right, versatility. Como is your kind of Swiss Army knife there of what you're doing with it, because there's the two wide variant sets it has. It has the Iron Defense Body Press one. It has the Clanging Scales one. So I would say those two kind of archetypes of Como. And then everything else is I'm clicking buttons.
like, I mean, Arcanine has some just because it's Arcanine. It's not as good as using it as the Kanto version, but it at least has it.
Well, what Arcanine
They
gains and like the Hisui one gains is just way more
attack.
offense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock typing does a lot offensively. That's why that Pokemon has grown on me a lot. I like just the rock head, clicking head smash and flare blitz and not caring. Like,
Yeah, in draft, I tend to like Kanto more, but that's just because it has that versatile Pokemon.
Arcanine Hisui's grown on me. Keep that one better. That's my opinion. Just hits too.
I mean, he can't pick up the other one anyway. Somebody else has it that we haven't covered yet.
Fair enough. But other than that, yeah,
Comfey has some, but again, it's just there's not a ton of utility here, and it's centered. It's like one move a Pokemon on average, because you have Tailwind from Jugulus, but then you're using Tailwind Jugulus.
Yeah. All right. Power, we both gave it a 7. I just said there are some mons that very much can pick up one-hit KOs, and that is enough to get at least a 7. Like, Ogerpon
Like,
can get
the
KOs,
top-
Arcanine, Landorus. They all get KOs. That's
The
power.
The top 4 really all take the KOs here. But like after that, it's no power from Pachi, no power from Comfey. Reuniclus actually does hit like a truck. Base 125 special attack will do that.
There's a
But
lot of power here.
Lucario's okay. And then the problem with Como and Frostmoth is they just need the setup to apply that power. And so that takes them down as well.
So it's either Clangorous Soul. I keep screwing that. I did that once in a set. I brought the wrong C move, like clanging, like CS move. So I was playing. Yeah.
And then and then in a format with the Z moves or balanced attack ones, for example, there's Clangorous Soul Blaze.
Well, that one's off of Clangorous Soul though, but yeah.
It's off of Clangorous Scales,
Okay,
yeah.
Wait, it's off of Scales? I would have screwed it
It's
up.
off of Scales.
My advice is
You
don't
were
screw
proving
up.
your point.
Don't screw up because it's very easy to screw up. Its moves sound way too similar. But it's gonna be that a throat spray or specs is kind of what's gonna push its damage over the top.
Another mon that's similar in that regard of getting the moves screwed up is Zygarde, because they're all 1,000 something or other.
Well, no, you just do arrows. That's
that's
at least
the good one.
Well, because you
It's a
can
little
visualize the arrows going down. Waves you see kind of going on the ground, so you can know that that's not the one you want to click.
I see how your brain works. Moving on from the Zygarde topic.
All right,
to the
and for
utility.
utility, I gave it an 8. I think it's got everything except for Fake Out. It got Tailwind, it's got Intimidate, it's got a Comfey, which can heal, which is kind of hype. Follow Me support on 2 Mons, Trick Room, Tailwind, and some priority attacks for fun.
Like, so another overlooked move that you haven't mentioned is coaching. 2 Mons on his team get coaching, which is relevant for this team.
Lucario, yeah. I can see coaching being pretty solid here. I like that.
Tailwind from Dragulus, Pachi, and Comfey are support bots that have utility. So like, and then like Arcanine has utility. It's just why are you using that on Hisui and Arcanine?
This team is going to use offensive Arcanine, and which is why it wants Hisui Arcanine over Kanto Arcanine, is because it just wants to hit hard.
Yep.
It's got the good support mons, and it just wants damage. Arcanine Hisui does a lot of damage. That mon has impressed me a lot. If there's a mon that I think my viewpoint of has gone up since I've watched Reg F, it's Arcanine Hisui.
I forget what mine is. I'll see if I can think of it by the end of this.
Right. Let's move along to number 6 as I click the same wrong button as usual. We have Cram with the Iron Hands, Ursaluna Blood Moon, Gyarados, Illumise, Zoroark Hisui, Weavile, Espathra, Hatterene, Revavroom, and Poltergeist. I also want to say, so we have these kind of ranked. All the scores are pretty close together. So, these two were tied. This one was down a half. This was down a half. This was down 1. They are all close together. So it's not like, we're saying they're monstrously better. It's just, we just put them on a list and we're going to judge the shit out of you. I keep making that my disclaimer. It's like, we're all doing good. No, we're just here to have fun.
On a side note, both of the previous 2 teams, you carried the average up by the same amount of points.
I'm here for you guys. I'm here. Both. I'm the one who's here. You knew that.
You have, for both the previous team and Cram here, I gave them a total of 21. You gave them a total of, I forget, but it equaled to 25 average for both of them.
Perfect.
Which is very funny.
All right, let's go through. So balance, I said the stats are pretty solid. We have good physical, special, and speeds. The defensive cores are where I docked my points, as there's no fire type and there's no dragon type. And if you're somebody who is a Draft League power ranking kind of connoisseur like myself, you look at the 2 very common cores, the Fire, Water, Grass, and the Fantasy core, because, that's what people in power rankings like to see. They're like, oh, they have the core.
You want to score high in balance, you got to have a Fire, Water, Grass. I think less of the very.
You don't need a good team to have those, or to not have those. For example, this team is still good even without it, but because we're doing this ranking by criteria, we're all kind of gung ho on the defensive cores, so we're going to judge accordingly.
So I also don't like the grass type, even if they did have a Fire, Water, Grass core.
Yeah.
Because it's not that Poltergeist could probably be a decent fire type actually, and the team would be better.
Well, that doesn't exist, but what does exist is the versatility of this team. So we're actually kind of different on this score. I went a little higher than you, well, a lot higher than you. I think you went a 3, and I went a 7.
I gave it a 3 because it's all in 2 Pokemon really. You have Trick Room with Hatterene and you have Fake Out with Weavile, but the rest of it's in Illumise and Gyarados.
I put it in a Espathra too, because that little shit can do more things than I'd like to.
I think that got weighed a little bit more into power for me.
That's fair. And also the Zoroark versatility is kind of shadow versatility, if you will. Because this team can lead Illumise, Ursaluna Blood Moon, and then just click Terra Normal Hyper Voice, and it's like, ha, gotcha.
You probably don't even Terra Normal because you want to keep the ghost type.
Or the same thing that Wolf did in his most recent team he posted about. It was, I'm an Ursaluna Blood Moon. You're gonna click Close Combat into me. Oh, it didn't hit it. It didn't hit. How unfortunate. I think Zoroark Hisui being obviously it's way better than the original Zoroark because of its typing. The fact that it has a ghost typing makes all the mind games so funnier and so much harder to play against.
I took this mon to regionals in, what would that have been? Whatever Baltimore was forever ago. You were there.
I was there. That was Reg H.
Yeah. I really liked it in that format as an Archaludon answer with Terraflight and Terrablast. That was fun.
That's
I do
pretty
think
good.
Zoroark is an interesting mon, but I don't think the utility is consistently there because there are opponents that can just see through that.
Mhm.
So like Weavile is another good disguise for it actually, going into that topic. So like there's some there, but it for me, most of the utility is basically in two Pokemon, and that's the versatility
Mhm.
is in two Pokemon, and that's why it scores so low. Because like Iron Hands and Ursaluna and Zoroark even, they have one set. Same for Espathra.
Wow, disrespecting the Yawn Ursaluna set that won a
That is the
couple.
same set with one move changed.
Shh. It puts things to sleep now. All right, power. We have an 8 for power. I mean, it's Hands and Blood Moon Ursaluna. Like that's really
And
strong.
Gyarados.
Yeah, my only
Like,
deductions for it are the having to set up speed control for it, which isn't necessarily a knock. It's just an inconvenience.
yeah. And like they can hit hard even without and they're bulky enough to take a hit
Hmm.
and hit back at least with those top three. And like Illumise helps enable them as well with fake tears or Tailwind or Thunderwave or just other nonsense. And then Zoroark and Weavile hit pretty hard. And then the sleepy powers pick is Lumina Crash Spathra.
There you go. Can
That's
chunk
that's the
things
sleepy.
down, set up the Zoroark, easy. All right, and then we go to utility here, and I said there's a prankster bug, there's fake out, there's intimidate, trick room, and tailwind. I don't need to see anything else. I gave this thing a much higher score than you because I see all of my boxes being checked with utility.
That's fair. Like I said, for me, it's also about how many Pokemon can do it. Like I said, most of the utility in this team outside of your fake outs and trick room, it's in that Illumise Gyarados again, which is part of why my score is so much lower. Is I'd like to see that spread out because if they can answer the Illumise and the Gyarados, you lose a lot of that utility with this team.
I mean, you have the Snarl, Icy Wind, Zoroark, and Weavile if you wanted that. The Spathor can do some supporty stuff too. And
There's
then there's
options.
Poltergeist, which is usable. I'm going to say Poltergeist is usable.
I have seen the opposite experience from Poltergeist, but
All right, well,
sure.
you're just a hater. I actually rated this team a lot higher than you, but
Yes, this is and the last one.
all right. Let's go to Reticle now with his Froakie, right? Big Froakie right there. We
Oh,
have.
if anyone
Mhm.
before you continue, if anyone's wondering, the tiebreakers were if three teams were tied, it was what I ranked them individually prior. Like, so I just took my ranking because it was just
Wow. I see
I
what it is. At
put
least
that
I
one
can
higher,
blame
and
you
then
now. That's actually the good thing. I can blame you for the order now.
and
This is
then if
wonderful.
those were tied, I just picked whichever one I thought was better because I didn't have time to spend ranking
We should
everything.
have done it by whose logo was cooler.
That would have been a fun way to do it as well.
Unlucky. This logo, though, is just a picture of Froakie that they found. All right, we have Indeedee Female, Garchomp, Iron Crown, Klefki, Brute Bonnet, Greninja, Skeledirge, Kilowattrel, Hawlucha, and Avalugg. I will say they won Pokeball last season with Indeedee Female Iron Crown, so they went with that kind of strategy again. Balance, we gave it a 6, so a lot of duplicate typings, but everything else to me looked great. Varying speeds, offensive stats, and the type chart looked pretty good. But a lot of duplicate typings with Steel, with I have to like relook at everything. Psychic, Flying,
Very vulnerable to strong special attackers as well.
Dark, yeah. But the speeds are great. Like there's really good variance between the speeds and the offenses. Garchomp hits really hard. Iron Crown hits really hard. Brute Bonnet can supplement the the physical as well as Hawlucha and Avalugg. He brings Avalugg, so I'm going to bring it up. Greninja can do some special. Kilowattrel can do some special as well, and then Skeledirge. So he can use this entire team, which again helps with the balance too. So, all
My
right.
fear is how is he beating a dark type if Hawlucha isn't able to do it?
Very carefully.
Like that's an issue, and then his water type being Greninja means fire moves are still a massive threat to this team.
Yeah, I mean, you have Garchomp and Skeledirge, though. I like
Skeletor
both of
isn't
those.
threatening a lot of fire types back, though, is the one issue.
Yeah, that's fair. All right,
Garchomp!
versatility. I see we were off a lot on that too. I just said there was a lot of good reader. Wait, what did I say? A lot of setup options. Keys has multiple supporting sets, and then Crown can do the booster speed. It can do booster special attack. Set up with like leftovers or something, or you can do the flap set, which was I think he did a weakness policy to get around Snarl, which was pretty funny. Like, so the opponent wants to Snarl spam him, so he gave it weakness policy, and then he just blew them up anyways.
Okay, that was kind of funny. But my problem is, a lot of those sets, the fundamental game plan of the Pokemon doesn't change, which is a defining factor for versatility. For me, is like, does the fundamental way the Pokemon plays change when factoring stuff like that? It does with the setup one, but not so much the other three.
Yeah. All right, power. This one took a hit, as really it's just Iron Crown and Garchomp. Everything else is there.
A little bit from Bonnet and Greninja.
Yeah, but realistically speaking, you have to rely on Garchomp and Iron Crown. That's what this team is kind of built around, and he has the cores to do it. Like Garchomp Kilowattrel, that's my bread and butter. And DD Female Iron Crown, that's his bread and butter. Like, you have the support for those mons, but you have to use those and set them up correctly. And it's really only those two. It's really only those two. Hawlucha is fake to me. Don't care. Even though stab close combat's strong, it's a Hawlucha.
It's not strong off with its stats.
Yeah. We have support-wise, or utility, rather. This can reasonably do everything you want. It does have Fake Out. Do not care what you say. It was brought to Ultra Finals. Fake Out indeed was used.
So, going back to Sword and Shield era, there was a competitive constructed team that ran Fake Out Indeedee with terrain.
Yeah.
It was just used to fake out flying types, but it was a real team.
And that's something that they have to think, like, opponents have to think about. If they have Tornadus, for example, I can get faked out by Indeedee. It's something that can happen. So, but it has Tailwind, it has Trick Room, it has Screen. Like, Klefki's a fantastic support mon. We have multiple ways to redirect. I liked it.
Yeah, it also has Spore.
It does have Spore.
And then a little unknown trick is Encore Hawlucha.
Encore is another one too. So
yeah,
I ranked it higher than you anyways, and you even brought up more than me, so alright.
Yeah. Like Ian, my problem is some of the utility is just hard to apply and very matchup specific, and that's why it got docked a little bit. But it's still got a ton of it.
Alright. We move along to Pogatoad with the ape, my ape brother. Tinglu, Iron Bundle, Mousehold, Mence, Rotom-Mow, Tinkaton, Cinderace, and then two mons that will never see the light of day. So this is an 8-mon team. No, don't. There's no Vulpix Alola's garbage.
Vulpix is unusable. I agree. I was gonna mention Duosion. Out of the two. Duosion has 125 base special attack.
Moving to balance. Type synergy is okay. Team is on the faster end, but Tinglu is good bottom end if people want to go into Trick Room versus you. And I guess you have Duosion, but then you're bringing a Duosion. This team is very physically oriented as well, aside from the Iron Bundle, Mence using its worse offensive stat, and then Rotom-Mow.
I mean, the most common Mence in constructed history has been special for VGC, so...
Well, right, because its physical moves are garbage.
That's perfectly at home running the special side. But yeah, this team, the balance is interesting. It's just, there's good typings, but it's the mons themselves don't play super well together. Outside of Tinglu supporting, Annihilate special defense, which is already its higher defense, which just isn't needed.
Yeah.
It's just Tinglu in particular doesn't bring a whole lot to this team other than being Tinglu itself. Its ability doesn't offer much, and it doesn't have a ton going for it otherwise.
Yeah. Versatility, we were both on the 7. I will not talk about Annihilate because I have it and I'm not going to spoil what I will do with it. So
I
get
will.
wrecked. All right, well, I'm going to mute you for a few seconds.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right. But Annihilate can do a lot of different things. That is all I will say. Regardless of that, the other one that I see is extremely 180 is the Mousehold, because it's the kind of the supporty one with the Encore, Super Fang, Follow Me, and then Beat Up, of course. But it can go with the Pop Bomb and be offensive. So that's kind of cool. And then Mence can do a few different things. Rotom can do a few things.
I think Rotom might actually be the most versatile mon on this team in terms of its varying sets and like how different they are.
Yeah. I just, again, it's Annihilate, but I'm not going to say it because that is my mon. Get wrecked. All right. Power. So Power, we were again spot on with a 6. My notes were Ape is strong, and there's a lot of good immediate damage with Iron Bundle and Mence as well. Cinderace can do some good immediate damage, so.
Yep. For some reason my internet decided to cut out there. That's the exact moment I was gonna jokingly talk about the obvious Mousehold set.
Yeah, I mean it's got a little weaker on the power end, I would say, but it's still powerful. Again, Annihilate is broken.
Yep, hard to argue against Annihilate being Annihilate.
I like Ape. And then utility, we have fast kind of icy wind. We also have tailwind. We have will-o-wisp and screens. We have some fake out, and we have, I'll mention weather control, but
I won't. The weather control is
good. Thank you. But
the weather control is clicking Sunny Day with Cinderace, or like Rain Dance with Bundle, or Hail, or something with Bundle, or Snow, as it's known now. I'm old. I still call it Hail.
Oh, hell no. All right. We will move along now to number 3. We have Mr. Orn, who is dead to me after beating me in Beast Finals. Nah, that's kidding. I love you. Orn is the GOAT. He just had to go much easier on me than what he did. And for that reason, you're going to rank number 3 so that you get a PR curse. In fact, we should move him up to number 1 so he gets PR cursed. Can I change my scores? How do I change my scores?
a bit too late for that.
Right, well,
so I will say he was not number 3 for me. I believe he was 4 in the rankings I made by myself.
Close enough.
So like still high up there. There was only one real swap from the top 2, I believe, between us.
It's funny he's this high with a balanced score of 4.
I'd argue a balanced score of 6. You just have to skip Samurott, Clefairy, and Meowstic.
Wait, we were both on the 4 for balance, though.
Yeah.
Anyways, the typings I said were okay. Team feels very glass cannon with frail speed, but it's powerful.
Yeah. I will say I like the Cobalion more than I like the Duraludon as well, that he traded away.
I don't. Cobalion's dog shit. Duraludon is the GOAT.
Well, so there are 2 problems with Duraludon for this team. One, it creates a double Eviolite with the Clefairy. And 2, the second Dragon typing really isn't needed, whereas the Fighting typing I think would actually help this team deal with some problems it would otherwise have.
Okay, the only one that matters is the Eviolite one. I can live with that answer. Alright, versatility. This team has a Meowstic and a Dragapult and a Tornadus for what it's worth, so I am going to shut up.
And a Swampert.
And Raikou. Like, it actually has a lot of mons.
And a Swampert.
Yeah. So,
Swampert is Versatility City.
I mean, my only 2 notes were Meowstic and Dragapult, so good luck. Yeah. Alright, power. I mean, it has a bunch of mons that can do a ton of damage, and you give them a little support, and they do more damage. It's just...
I probably should have given this slightly higher power on my rankings, but it's still really solid. Like, Pult, Ogerpon, Raikou, all hit pretty hard. Even Samurott can a little bit.
Yeah.
Not a ton to talk about other than that.
Fair. And then for utility, Ornn, I gave you a 10 for utility. But we scored kind of on slightly different utility ratings. But you got a 10 from me.
That's pretty consistent across all scores, so it doesn't actually affect.
No, but I'm
anything.
saying you have perfect utility, in my opinion, with the Meowstic, with the Dragapult, Clefairy, Torn, Ogerpon, Raikou. Everything there, you have what you want to do. And you have Spikes, the singles player in you with Samurott. Can set your spikes for you.
They matter when they're on a damaging move. They add up.
You just have to hit the damaging move. That's what balance is. The balance is you get it 90% of the time.
That is fair, yeah. And it's the team's utility is just like the Swampert has Wide Guard, the Swampert has Icy Wind. It's just got a bunch of really interesting tools. Clefairy obviously is Clefairy. Meowstic is and Tornadus are utility bots by themselves.
Yeah. I liked your team, Ornn. Despite what the evil man says, I liked your team.
And it was still high ranked on mine.
I'm looking
it was still
forward to the
or
finals
fourth.
rematch when we're in playoffs because you dodged me in the division splitting. All right, number 2, we have Sikharatin and the Rillaboom, Zapdos, Primarina, Sneasler, Entei, Latias, Frostlass, Venomoth, Skarmory, and do you only see 9 Mons? I don't see a 10th one. Is there something there? I don't think.
No. I think it's just a 9-Mon team. Maybe we should go back and get him to draft another Mon.
Yeah. All right. Jokingly aside, this team, balance-wise, where's my notes at? It's nice that I'm prepared for these. I just have to find where my preparing is. We were right on with a 7. I said no Ghost Resist, and Rock is a big issue. Aside from that, the stats are great. You're fast, and you have good physical, and you have good special damage. It's balanced very well. In that
hilariously,
sense.
This is another team you brought down my scores, which is kind of funny. By over 2 points.
Damn. Actually, that is true, because my total was a 24, and yours was way higher than that. Okay, but we were spot on with balance, which is good.
Balance, we agreed, yes. This team, I think the trades that they made, because they also made trades, were more of a lateral move, but not necessarily in a bad way.
I liked getting Zapdos and Primarina over whatever he had
I think my big downside is the Frostlass. I feel like you could do something better with that. Venomoth, I could see the utility there, for sure. I just feel like you could do better with that Frostlass.
Yeah.
And the typing weren't like you went Rotom Wash to Zapdos and Primarina, kind of splitting that role, and gave up a couple other interesting ones.
So now we have the case of I gave him a lower versatility than you, which is something that I didn't think could be possible. So why don't you go ahead and speak to the versality of this team then? Because
this is not the only. There's not the only time this has happened, but it's one of the few. It actually happened with Ornn 2 seconds ago. But so Latias is Versatility City. It has so many different sets. Zapdos, also Versatility City, has so many different sets. There's also interesting versatility with Entei, because it has support sets. And Primarina has some very interesting. There are fundamentally different sets of playing a slow bulky Primarina and a choice specs really fast Primarina. Those do play a fundamentally different way that you have to prep for. Yeah. So I would consider those different sets as well in this case.
My notes are powerful Mons with specific sets that they really like to run. So why would you run something else other than Entei clicking E-Speed or Sneasler clicking its moves?
There are matchups where a Snarl Entei or a Bulldoze weakness policy Entei, Entei with Bulldoze to enable a weakness policy Sneasler that triggers Unburden might come up, or stuff like that comes up. And Latias and Zapdos are just Versatility City by themselves.
Zapdos is using the same moves. That's all I have for it. All right, power. We both gave this an 8 for power. I said docking 2 points for not hitting ghost types, aside from Sneasler doing it off stab or Frostlass. That is I talked 2 points for not being able to hit ghost types without. Besides,
you gotta hit. What ghost types are there though? There's Annihilate, which dies to Latios and Primarina, and what else?
We're doing power rankings, sir. There it is. We have to come up with things to talk about. We have to dock people points, and we have to make
I guess
them
there.
feel
Wait,
bad.
actually, how does this team hit a Flutter Mane?
There you go. See, it's Ironhead Entei, or just Flare Blitz Entei.
I was gonna say Sacred Fire. I think it's it, but still.
Nah, I like Flare Blitz
Like-
more. I hate missing moves.
That's fair.
Alright,
Sacred
it's
Fire's
powerful
much good.
though. Like there's
Yeah.
not much to say. Rillaboom, Sneasler, Primarina, Zapdos, Entei. Like what else do you need? I just dock points because again, hit a ghost type for the love of God. Alright, utility. I was lower than you on the utility. I said Tailwind, Latias, and Redirection is nice, and the fake outs are good. So I had positive notes to say, but that's kind of it.
So like
Frostlass
the
is fake to
utility.
me. Frostlass is
It-
fake.
Yeah, I agree on that statement. The utility comes in the form of well, Venomoth has Rage Powder. That's
That's what the
technical.
redirection is. I brought that
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, Sneasler has some utility in Fake Out and coaching and a couple other things it can do. And then Latios and Zapdos are where a lot of this utility comes in. Tailwind, obviously, from Zapdos.
Yeah.
And then Latios is a Pokemon with a very deep move pool with stuff like Heal Pulse, Tailwind, obviously.
Mhm.
And just these really interesting... Also, Mist Ball is technically more of a utility move.
That is a cool move.
So, like, there's a bunch of weird utility that Latios specifically has.
Yeah. All right, and that leads us to our number one team in the red division. We have Mr. Enoler, who also told me how to say his name. And that's the Flutter team. So Flutter, Volcarona, Kingambit, Ninetales Alola, Electivire, Rhyperior, Araquanid, Hitmontop, Titan, and Uxie. It's another team with not only no F tier, but no E tier.
And
That's
it
impressive.
shows. It absolutely shows that there's no F tier or E tier here.
Balance,
Like-
the stat spread is good. A lot of ones in the resist category is what my note was. But other than that, you have the full spectrum of your speeds. You have a very nice variety of attacking with physical and special.
And like my one thing I wish was that Electivire was like a bulky grass type. I think the team would be overall better, but this team is fantastic. Like it has everything you need from a balance perspective, pretty much, aside from that.
Versatility, we both gave it a 5. Volcarona can, I guess, be either offensive or support. Everything else can have a few key moves that can help, but they're going to be pretty standard
Like,
for the most part.
It's Volcarona and then it's Hitmontop and Uxie pretty much are the versatility on this team. Everything else has got 1.5 sets at most.
Power, you actually went perfect 10 on power.
Yeah, this team, everything on this team hits like a truck except for the Uxie, and maybe the Ninetales.
Yeah, I can see that. I went 8. I just said heavy hitters and there's consistent setup for them. So like you can support your heavy hitters and you have immediate damage. And something that we also kind of didn't bring up is priority attacks. Kingambit has your priority attack. Hitmontop has some priority attacks which add to your power. So
Yeah. They don't hit for as hard except for Sucker Punch from Gambit because that thing just is a
and
monster.
then utility, I gave it a perfect 10 because of having Fake Out, having some redirection. We have Aurora Veil, which is pretty cool. Follow Me, we can burn things, we can lower special attack. We had it all to be. We have Wide Guard for fun. We have Encore.
You have 2 wide guard users at that. Like,
Yeah. For me, this was
And-
another perfect 10 utility. I don't know what else I'd want.
I gave it an 8 just because, like I said, I don't think every single mon offers a ton of it, but it probably should have been at least a 9 for me looking back on it, which somehow my score still ended up higher than yours by a point. Don't know how that happened. Despite
It was
the
okay, but I had a total of 30, you had 31. Like
it's not a
were
significant difference.
Yeah,
It's-
this
it's
was
not a
clearly the
significant
best team though from this division. Pretty
on-
clear.
I think this might be the best team overall
Probably,
in both
yeah.
divisions. Like, this team is... What does this team not do if the player plays well?
Exactly. And Enola comes from singles, and he's mentioned some single sets that he ran. If he brings that creativity to this team, yeah, good luck.
I know Enola has also played some VGC in the past as well.
He was number 1 seed in Ultra Ball last season.
Yeah.
He good.
Well, like even before that, I recognize the name Enola from going way back in some VGC history that I'm not going to get into.
Yeah. But let's get into the black division now, which is the better one because I'm there.
I am going to call for a 30-second break.
All right, we will take 30 seconds then. I will probably...
Mostly, I just need to get up and go to the bathroom. I will be honest.
Broski, I've been drinking water all day.
I've been doing it. I've emptied an entire water bottle.
Although I probably need to keep drinking water, so... But yeah, we'll take 30 seconds. While he's gone, can talk in the chat, I guess, guys. How are we doing about the rankings? How are we liking them? No, we rated you accordingly. Your team is pretty good. How you managed to do that without any E's or F's is crazy to me. Crazy to me. Like, I cannot go into a draft anymore without like expecting to pick 2 of like the lower mons, just because of how like my brain works as far as like quality wise. But you managed to get one of the better teams I've seen. I mean, yeah. This is gonna be weird in the YouTube recording, because I'm not an editor, so I'm not going to edit this. Oh wait, we have to stop being mean to him. He's back. All right, we only said a few hurtful things about you, not much else.
I have returned. And whatever hurtful things, it can't be as bad as some of the pain I felt in the past few years.
Exactly.
Physically.
You're already used to pain. All right, we will return back to the presentation screen. I like that I just reuse like everything. Like these 2 screens here. Well, that top one was my capture card, but yeah, these are what I used for the interviews. I just repurposed it.
And then I added a little bit of extra detail and flair. It's pretty much all I did.
All right. Now we go to the number 12 of the black division, and I can't talk too much shit because he's my round 1 opponent, Lord Arcanum. We have the Chiyu, Golden Ghost, Sneasler, Amoongus, Fullbeat, Hitmontop, Thwacky, Lycanroc Dusk, Bastiodon, and Wartortle. My notes for him, because I am nice in saying that, I thought the type diversity wasn't great, and I guess the amount of damage dealing mons is pretty low.
So on the side, this is one of the few times where our average was exactly both of our scores.
Perfect. Again, I'm trying not to say too much
but...
because he's my first round opponent. If he absolutely slaughters me, then
allow me. Like,
all right,
allow me. The top 3 are really good Pokemon on their own, but in particular, Chiyu, Goldengo want Tailwind or something that can reliably set up Tailwind, which Volbeat has. But at the same time, then you're relying on Volbeat to do that, and they're also they're not going to one-hit KO literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
Which they kind of need to do, particularly the Goldengo Volbeat combo, because something like a Volcarona just destroys that by itself. Like, there's not much you can do.
All right, versatility. Then, you actually went higher than me on versatility, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, like this team, it's just.
I feel like a lot of it's okay, I did prep for this team, so I can say, like, I'm predicting a lot of things that he's bringing against me, but that's what my score was kind of tailored on, was that I think I can reasonably predict what he's bringing, because I just prepped for him. That's why I say this.
Yeah, the versatilities in the Volbeat, the Hitmontop, kind of the Amoongus, and kind of like the Goldengo, pretty much. Like, the Goldengo can be a little bit different depending on how it chooses to play. But yeah, I'm actually looking back at it, I'm surprised I gave it this high. I really don't know what the bottom 4 months of the team are supposed to be here.
I
Like I
think
feel like
Thwacky with Sneasler makes sense. Just
like
give it the unburden option.
I get why it's there, but I feel like you could just do better in general.
Yeah.
And find other creative ways to take advantage of that.
Power, we were pretty close. You gave it a 5, I gave it a 6. I mean, Chiyu Goldango is extremely strong on the special side, and then Sneasler still has 120 attack and still likes using it. Stab close combat is still strong, so there is the power on the top end still, and that's why my power score was a 6.
Yep, and like my problem, the top end's there. That's why it got as high as a 5. But it's just the rest of the team has basically none. If you have no idea what to put there, we could DM me later. I could probably help.
Basically, more usable mons than Bastiodon and Wartortle.
I could definitely help you rework some of that team for sure.
But utility, I gave it a 9. Again,
you gave it a 9.
I just
gave it.
I know what utility it has.
I gave it a 5 because a lot of it's tied up in like 2 or 3 Pokemon, and that's where my downgrading comes from. Because like those 3 months, they have tons of it. It's just it's all on those 3 months.
Yeah. And where mine goes up is that you do check a lot of boxes. You have the Prankster Bug. You have the Redirection. Chiyu's ability is utility. Hey, that rhymed. Hitmontop gives you Intimidate. You have Terrain Control, which is good. And you have some priority attacks. Well, Lycanroc Dusk does. And other than Fake
Hitmontop. And Thwacky, actually.
Yeah,
they all 3 of them have priority attacks.
So yeah, that is your team. Please don't destroy me in week 1. Thank you. And we will move right along to number 11. We have Speedy. We have the Urshifu single, Torn Eye, Glamora, Clefable, Metagross, Basculegion female, Jolteon, Hydrapple, Tauros, and Dugtrio. Balance scores. I said the typings comically work. I don't remember why I used the word comically. I just thought it was funny that somehow these typings work despite having 3 weaknesses to ground and like give a Torn and a Hydrapple. I guess they can take that. What else did I write? Offense is nice, and the spread, I guess, of offense is good, and the speeds are also nice as well.
Yeah, I mean, the speed is really good. This team, it's kind of all over the place with everything, which makes it really hard to score it with balance. Because, like, it has the physical offense, it has decent special offense, so that could be a lot better. But, like, it's just... it kind of works and kind of doesn't at the same time, and it's just hard to judge the balance on this one.
Yeah. The versatility, we were both spot on with the 4. I think that, again, with changing maybe an item or a move on the majority of these, everything kind of stays the same and fills their same role. Like, the roles are kind of set on this team, I would say.
Like, you have versatility in Jolteon, Clefable, and Tornadus, pretty much. There's not much else.
Yeah.
Maybe Tauros.
Power, I said Shifu and friends. They do the job. Like,
my problem is it's the friends are middling in terms of their power. Like, Glamora's got decent special attack, boosted when you can click Meteor Beam, but you also have to hit Meteor. You don't have to hit to get the boost, but you have to hit to actually like deal damage.
Yeah.
Really reliably, and like Metagross is fantastic offensively. Jolteon's okay. Hydrapple's actually pretty good offensively. That's a mon I do think is highly underrated in general.
Yeah, I mean Torn also can still do damage. Like that's
so can Tauros as well. Yes,
and Clefable.
But like it's
my goat Clefable.
Clefable compared to the monsters we have nowadays.
Speedy,
Clefable
can you please nickname
enough.
Clefable Baby G for me? Thank you. That is my Baby G. I just like Dynamaxing it last gen.
Oh.
and then whenever I was helping some other people in RegF, like there were some weeks where Meteor Beam Clefable was like really strong for some reason, and then we used that. So yeah, I just like my Clefable. All right, and then for utility, I said good Tailwind, good Follow Me. There is no Fake Out, but
Zach, I wish I could say Meteor Beam doesn't miss. It does.
Well, for Zach, it crits, so...
Fair.
Yeah, you have anything else to add for utility?
The utility is, once again, just tied up in a ton of specific mons.
Mm-hmm. It's not a lot, like, a wide range of utility, I would say. It's,
Like,
yeah.
It's Intimidate, I guess. Maybe Trapping counts with the Doug Trio, but then you're trying to trap with the Doug Trio.
And then you're using a Doug Trio, yeah.
Like,
All right.
Jolteon once again has some options, Clefable has some options, and Torn is your main utility here.
Yeah. Number 10, we have Pumpkin. With the Urshifu Rapid, Ogerpon, Regieleki, Hydreigon, Sylveon, Mamoswine, Gengar, Stonejourner, Porygon, and Skarmory. My Pumpkin notes, we have balance. I said defense is okay. Urshifu is being asked to cover a lot for its typing. Like Urshifu, I should have wrote down what typings I had that it was your resist for. But Urshifu's typing is being asked a lot on this team. That was my note for it. But the speeds are good. The offenses are offensive. You're using Urshifu defensively a lot.
And that's never a good idea.
It's your rock resist. That was one that came up. It's like your only rock resist is Urshifu.
Yeah, thankfully there's not a ton of strong rock types, but the ones that do exist can absolutely destroy that and exploit this team for sure.
Yeah. Versatility, I said, looks very copy-paste with some sets. You might be able to do Gengar stuff, but everything else should be pretty
Gengar,
much the same.
Porygon, Sylveon, maybe?
But we say it's low versatility, but the power-wise, I went full 10. Like
this is the only one you gave a full 10 to, I believe.
In power, yes, and I think rightfully so. Like, again, it might not be the most versatile team, but power-wise, you have an Urshifu and an Ogerpon, which can hit like a truck. Sylveon and Hydra you can hit with a truck. Well, hit like a truck. I'd hit them with a truck too, but that's besides the point. I'm gonna hit them with a truck. Mostly the Sylveon I want to hit with a truck because I hate that Pokemon. But...
Mamoswine and Gengar pack a pretty good punch. Stonejourner amplifies that, which is a highly underrated fact.
Pumpkin, if you're still here, find the replay of the Stonejourner. We need to find this. Yeah, he popped off in a playoff match with Stonejourner and Ultra Ball last season.
I think I have seen that clip.
That is one of the best moments of the season for sure. Is the Stonejourner pop off? All right, utility. Yeah, I gave it a 4 in utility. You gave it a 3, so we were pretty much on pace there. It's not a lot, but Aleki can at least do screens and do webs. But then
Gengar has Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah.
And Sylveon has Yawn.
Maybe Aleki is the support mon on this team because there is enough power, and there's Tailwind and Hydra for what it's worth. So maybe I was too hateful with a 4. I don't know.
Skarmory and Porygon technically have Tailwind and Trick Room between them, but I wouldn't count on those mons coming very often. I'd also argue that Power Spot in itself is technically utility as well.
Yeah.
Just less.
And there's some priority attacks, which I'm going to call utility. So
there's what? Quick Attack?
Ice Shard.
And Ice Shard? It's just those two, right?
Aqua Jet.
Aqua Jet, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Ice Shard and Aqua Jet are good enough. But what else is number 9's team of Smoggies with the Incineroar, Dragapult, Landorus, Brute Bonnet, Clefairy, Slowbro, Registeel, Ditto, Quagsire, and Scyther. My notes for Smoggy, we have a balance. I said it kind of feels all over the place. The fairy resistances are both the C's, when fairy is kind of an issue for the team. But, yeah.
Why is Quagsire here? That's my first question.
You gotta have that water type. Again, what were you saying about people who like doing power rankings? They foam at the mouth for the fire, water, grass core. You can't do power rankings and then not be upset when there's a fire, water, grass core. You have to just enjoy that and say, all right, you did it.
I feel like that could have been just such a better water type, but we're moving on from that.
All right.
Like this team, it's kind of yeah, like you said, it's kind of all over the place with what it wants to do. Like the top four balance really well, and then what do you do from there?
Yeah. For versatility, I put a 5, and my notes are very funny. I said Dragapult cannot go lower than a 5. Do not care.
It's
Dragapult.
just Dragon Ball. I think I gave it a 6, I
You gave it
think.
a
'Cause
6. Yeah, yeah.
the like Scyther actually has some versatility.
Oh, I forgot you were a
Uh
Scyther fan.
that thing can struggle bug you to death. It's very funny. Scyther has some utility, Brute Bonnet has some utility, Dragapult or versatility, I mean not utility.
Yeah.
Um Incin technically has a little bit because like technically Banded Incin is a viable set in draft.
And probably one this team will use.
I would not be surprised. Just make sure it has
Because,
parting shot.
yeah, because the power score we gave it a. You actually went a 6, I went a 4. I said there were two main threats, and you have to work hard to get the other ones to do damage.
Like it's Dragapult, Landawai,
And that's
make
it.
some from Bonnet,
Everything
some from
else you need
Scyther,
to,
and some
like,
from Incin.
put a lot of resources into making work, which is
And
Incineroar,
well,
Brute Bonnet, like, Slowbro
there's
for
there's
that matter.
there's one
Registeel.
mod you don't have to put any resources into making it good. Your opponent does.
That's fair.
But then you have to rely on your opponent to do things and risk getting destroyed by while they set up.
Yeah. Utility, we both gave it a 7. My notes are that Polt carries the utility. There's Fake Out and Redirection. But I think Polt is asked to be doing a lot for the utility on this team.
I mean, the utility is what? It's Scyther, it's Bonnet, it's Pult, it's some of Incin, and some of Clefairy.
Yeah. Slowbro, I
Yeah.
guess, can do a little bit too, but...
Like, it's got utility, but it's just, how is it being able to effectively use it is the question.
Yeah. All right. Number 8. We have Slimy with the best logo. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the logo? That is just beautiful. Just so perfect in every way.
It is a very fun logo, if nothing else.
Yes, it is so good. He should keep it forever. All right. We have a team which he did make some trades, but he played his week 1 already. So we're going to rate the team that he played week 1 with, basically. Which was the D-Knight, Arcanine, Hisui, Iron Bundle, Klefki, Espathra, Abomasnow, Snorlax, Raichu, Hariyama, and Spiritomb. All I will say is, thank God there's no Beartic. If there was a Beartic, that is all I would hear. Is like, oh, I should bring Beartic. It's like, God. Beartic, like,
Now you hold
consumes
on.
me.
You just made it so he knows he's gonna trade for Beartic.
I wouldn't put it past him. All right, let's get to it. So balance, where is Slimy at? I said defensive types don't work well together because again, there's a lot of 4X weaknesses, and then it's physical with Blizzard spam.
Yeah, you got Blizzard. Hey, you have never heard of that special Dragonite?
Well, I won't have to see it because it's no longer on this team, but I have to talk about it here.
Like the stats balance is actually okay. In terms of a mix, in my opinion, like he's got some defensive tools, got some, but like the typings are just all over the place. Like I don't think this team needed or wanted the Abomasnow because it's not good as a grass type for purposes, and I don't think you care about boosting Bundle's defense that much.
He is too gung ho on his ice types that he had to get Blizzard spam. All right, versatility. We both gave it a 4. I don't have a lot that I said other than maybe not a lot of versatility. Klefki is going to be your versatility. Espathra.
It's tied into Arcanine, Klefki,
Yeah.
Raichu, and Spiritomb. And Arcanine, as we've established,
Wants to just
the
make
Hisuian
bombs.
one's probably just going to be offensive most weeks.
Yeah.
So like,
Power. I probably should have went a little higher, which is funny because you went lower. But I said there were strong E speeds, and you can't take away from Iron Bundle clicking Blizzard. That mon just does way too much. Snorlax and Hariyama and Trick Room also do enough. But it goes back to the
Well,
whole physical plus blizzard spam.
the other problem with the Snorlax applying power is it really needs to set up a curse or two to start applying that power, and it's just so intimidate vulnerable while doing it.
I will not spoil anything else that happened in his week 1 game. But he may have done that. Which is funny.
The fact that I'm calling things that happened without seeing that they happened is very funny. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about with power. Power is probably the most straightforward, and also probably the least important of the 4 stats, so.
Yeah, but utility is a good one, and we both were on with an 8, so good job us. I said Fake Out, Intimidate, Clef Key, and Icy Wind.
This was another one where we were bang on with the average as well. Both of us hit a 23 perfectly.
We did, actually, yeah. That means his team is very much a 23.
Yeah, no. Utility. I mean, almost every mon here has utility, which is a big factor in my score. And, like, obviously Arcanine doesn't want to use it as much, but it does have it at least if you need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will briefly touch on the trades after you go over your utility
I mean,
score.
I have nothing else to say other than the Spiritomb can do some stuff as well. Like, that helped a lot. Klefki's good. So, yeah, we can touch on his trades quick on game.
I like the Espathra to Latios. I'm not sure how I feel about the Dragonite to Whimsicott, but I guess it does kind of replace the Klefki spot, which went to an Empoleon, which I don't know how I feel about going double water type now without a single ground type and your grass type being Bomb Snow. Obviously you have Raichu, but that's still kind of tough sometimes to fit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, our faster mode got better. Our psychic type got way better. And then now we have another water type that doesn't resist fire, which is funny. But
oh yeah, that's also true.
Fix
that Hariyama gonna be carrying.
But what his real MVP is the Blitzel right next to his team. For those that know, I'll tell you afterward. I can't hurt him anymore. But we can hurt Hasugal and his N10 Murkrows. The rebrand is in full effect. He's no longer bulky. He's now a Murkrow. For those that know. He is a Blood Moon Ursaluna, a Torkoal, an Electabuzz, a Typhlosion Hisui, a Murkrow, Lilligant Hisui, Mimikyu, Tauros, Aqua, Scizor, and Persian. My Hasugal note for balance is a lot of overlapping types. That's what happens on some teams. Speed stats are more on the slow side, and then you have the Lilligant. And then way more special damage. So the Lilligant is being asked to do a lot here, and then Tauros and Scizor, I guess. But
if you remove the Lilligant, the fastest mon on this team, I believe, is the Electabuzz.
Yeah, it is. It's 105.
Yeah. And then it's like Tauros and Typhlosion and Mimikyu. Oh, actually, it's Persian. Persian at 115. But
there is a Persian.
It's so low down, we forgot to look at it.
All right. And then for versatility-wise, we were pretty close, I would say. I mean, I was a 3, you were a 5. Again, how am I lower on versatility than you? I see a Raging Bolt, and I'm like 10. Like...
Scary. Meanwhile, I see like Persian. I'm like 3 different sets. Scissor's got 2.
And then there's a Typhlosion that just wants to click Eruption. Ursaluna that wants to click its moves. Electabuzz wants to just follow me. Lilligant wants to be fast.
Like, so the versatility in this is entirely the I mean, 5 is still not a high score, so it's not like we're so far apart. It's entirely in the Murkrow, a little bit of the Mimikyu, the Persian, and the Tauros and Scizor, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, none of it's in the top half of the team. A little bit from the Electabuzz, I guess, but not much.
Yeah. The power is where we've diversified a lot. I put it a 9 for power, because I said with speed control, KOs will be claimed. Ursaluna, Blood Moon, Torkoal, Typhlosion, Lilligant, all kill things. They are all.
I definitely should have been a bit higher in power than I wrote down.
Been. You definitely should have been.
I definitely should have been higher in power than I wrote down. But the hard part is applying the power, because Blood Moon and Torkoal needs setup to pull it off. Typhlosion needs the sun. Lilligant really needs the sun.
That's why I
Tauros
said you
gets
set it
crippled by
up,
the sun.
lethal. But you got to set
Yeah,
it up.
I think I docked some.
You should have
probably
been
be like
higher.
a 5
I
or
should have
6.
been at a point lower.
Yeah, I probably should have been at like a 6 for power, but you should have been a little bit lower.
I should have been an 8.
It kind of offsets.
I think 9 may have been too high, but
yeah, like we both probably could have been a little bit more better
for
with that.
support or utility wise, like I was a 9. You were a 7.
This team has it.
Yeah, follow me, Murkrow, Mimic you can burn or go Trick Room. You have Intimidate, priority attacks. Well, Scissor, but you fake out.
Technically, Tauros is Aqua Jet as well, I believe.
It is. You're right.
And Shadows from Mimikyu. But priority matters less when you can just quash things.
Yeah. You also can sleep powder things too with Lilligant, so that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, like the utility here is definitely there, and it's just how do you fit it into a game plan? I think is the real
This
problem.
to me feels like a Sun team. Like a very standard Sun team, I would say. Maybe with the Ursaluna not being there, but like everything else just feels like a Sun team. It's rated low for balance and versatility, but it's powerful. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, my problem is if you face like a bulky water type, what are you doing?
Electabuzz and Lilligant. Easy.
The Lilligant is the answer there. Electabuzz is not threatening a bulky water type.
All right. Well, let's talk about his first round matchup. Actually, is against Zach and his logo, which I absolutely despise because I hate Hoot Hoot. Anyways, Archaludon, Mousehold, Sinistcha, Politoed, Tinkaton, Crocodile, Araquanid, Kilowattrel, Toxicroak, and Moltres. We both gave her a 7, or gave him a 7. I say, yeah. Ignore me. I said rainbow of types, speeds are good. The physical damage is a little sus because it's Crocodile and Araquanid, and I don't think Toxicroak is fake.
Tinkaton and maybe Toxicroak and Maushold, but yeah. Like, my problem here is just how does it deal with certain Pokemon? Like, I'll use Rapid Strike as an example. If without the Sinistcha, this team just folds to it.
Yeah. But
like
I like the speeds, I like the special damage, and I like the variety of typings. So you do have that going for you.
I really like the Moltres and Rain, like of fire types you could pick on a Rain team. That is one of the best because it can spam Hurricane.
Yeah, Hurricane. Hitting Hurricane is nice. For versatility, you went higher than me again. I said Mousehold is kind of the one that's versatile. Everything else is kind of there.
I gave it, like it's Mousehold. It's a little bit of Kilowattrel, a little bit of Moltres.
I guess a little bit of Arch, yeah.
Yeah, Archaludon actually has like 3 or 4 sets. I recently was helping a friend with his draft league, which was a money league, so we had to put a little more effort into it. I think we played a total of like over the course of like 7 weeks plus playoffs, played about 4 or 5 different Archaludon sets. So
yeah,
it was
power-wise. I said Archaludon is extremely powerful. The physical attackers don't hit 120 attack at all, but again, I said that kind of in balance. But otherwise, like I think Arch is really powerful.
I mean, Araquanid's power with water moves overwrites its stats, but yeah, the power is a little bit lacking outside of Arch. Population bombs can kind of hit hard.
Mm-hmm. There's Disquake with Kilowattrel Crook if you're into that.
Problem is, it's just not a very strong Disquake.
Well, choice specs the Kilowattrel. Say less.
I send in a grass type.
Well, that's just what happens against this team, really.
Moltres
is gonna have to deal with grass types for you.
Moltres is a really good answer to a lot of them when it can spam Hurricane.
Also, you can just click. You can just click flying moves with Kilowattrel under grass types. You don't even have to click discharge.
Well, no, I bait the discharge on your specs and switch in.
Easy. All right, utility. We both went with a 7. I said I like the rain. I like the setup potential. Tailwind damage reduction is kind of but
like hospitality is overlooked utility in a lot of cases. Obviously you have Follow Me, you have Fake Out with the Tinkaton,
and the
Wide Guard from Araquanid.
Yeah.
Like, you have 2 Tailwind setters that are pretty reliable at getting it up.
And Mousehold can set up Archaludon with Pop Bomb or Beat Up if you're into that. Yeah.
And Intimidate, I guess, with Crook as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's utility here, it's just, once again, it's how do you all apply it into one match, I think is the only real question with that.
Yeah. All right, number 5. We have Quick with his Ogerpon, Wellspring, Tinglu, Gouging Fire, Bronzong, Iron Boulder, Sableye, Thundee, Florges, Dugong, and Fletchinder. Balance-wise, I said the typings were okay. There's one real Fairy Resist, but the speeds are great. The damage is definitely more on the physical side, but Thundurus and Florges can definitely still pull their weight, and not a ton of water switch-ins, aside from Ogerpon, Wellspring, obviously.
The Dugong.
Like I said.
Not a real Pokemon, I'm aware.
Yeah.
I will say Dugong has a surprising amount of utility, but again, how does it use it?
Yeah.
I mean, this team, like, it's got pretty good type spreads across the board. It's just moving into versatility a little bit. Everything is except for 3 or 4 Pokemon is pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah, we're just changing offensive items or assault vests on a few mons, or like where the booster energy is gonna go.
I think
I guess Gouging Fire is your kind of versatile, like kind of 180 kind of mon.
Yeah, that and like Thundurus can kind of be that way a little bit because you can play a support Thundee still in draft and get away with it just fine.
Yeah. Power-wise, again, it's really strong on the physical end. You have the Howl stuff with like Ogerpon and Tinglu, which is pretty cool. What did I say? Thundee being the main special attacker is actually pretty good because, again, it does a lot of special damage. And if your opponents have to go all in on defense for a lot of your good physical attackers, Thundurus can help clean up. So
Florges actually can hit pretty hard too.
Florges as well, yeah.
Base 112 special attack, if I'm not mistaken.
I forget what the actual number
somewhere
is.
in that ballpark for sure. And then the underrated mon that you didn't mention, Iron Boulder, hits like a truck, especially when it can go through Protect.
Yeah. That's a mon I've never tried and I wanted to. I never got to try it though. Maybe in the team tour I'll convince my co-captive ticket, but we'll get to that later. All right, and then for utility, I think Sableye is a really good support mon. Gouging Fire can do your howling and your breaking swiping. Thundurus can do some snarling and some e-webbing. Florges can help a little bit too.
It has a little bit better than Snarl actually. It can Eerie Impulse things.
That doesn't do damage though. I'm not interested.
It's utility, not power.
Fair enough.
Dugong has a wide, and I mean wide support.
If you
pool,
get
but
Perish Song kills with Dugong, I'll be happy.
I'm thinking Fake Out and Encore more than
Nah. Perish Song. Nah, actually just click Horn Drill. You're fine. You just need Horn Drill. Or Sheer Cold, I guess.
Why would you go Horn Drill over Sheer Cold?
Because Horn Drill is cooler.
Actually, there's an actual legitimate mechanical answer to that. It's when the opponent has Ice types, no Ghost types.
And when you Terra, your Sheer Cold becomes 20, not 30.
If you're Terraing a Dugong, what has happened in that game?
You really needed to hit an Oko move. All right. That is Quicks. That was the number 5 team. We're going to go to the number 4 team, which is Junebug with his very creative Flutter Hands team, which is funny because, 4 of these mons were on my Premier team last season, and I did horrible. So hopefully he does better with Hands, Fluttermane, King Gambit, Arcanine, Slowbro, Grafaiai, Vivillon, Noivern, Furret, and Meganium. My stuff for Junebug. Balance: 4 mons that attack and 6 support mons. Typings are compensating for ground weaknesses, but a few of them won't come to games, like Meganium, for example. And you're not going to run both Vivillon and Noivern.
I actually think the Meganium will come to more games than the Vivillon will. I think Meganium is a mon that, honestly, you could swap the point value with Furret, and it would be completely fine. I have no faith in Furret, I'm going to be honest.
He wanted some Follow Me, and I don't hate it, but there's also Rage Powder, so... Vivillon is actually good, though. Vivillon, because it can hit Sleep Powders, is stupid annoying.
Yeah, Vivillon's not bad by any means. I do think you're sleeping on Meganium. Meganium, as far as a budget bulky grass, it's one of the best. Like it has heal pulse, it has decent offenses, and pretty good bulk. So it can be on the field annoying the opponent and healing itself with like a leech seed set or its allies with heal pulse and get a bunch done.
That's fair. All right, versatility. We both gave it a 7, which is funny. I said Flutter and Arcanine can do some different things. Support structure will be the same for the most part, but
I mean,
you're the
so
Arcanine kind of fan, so
yeah, my versatility, a lot of this comes from that Arcanine slot, but some from the Grafaiai, because while the Grafaiai doesn't fundamentally change its playstyle, its support sets are so different depending on how you want to run it. Because there's always the weird Doodle stuff. Doodle is just a weird move. It's very funny to interact with.
yeah.
Encore is fantastic. You can set up Sun for
Is
your Flutter.
Proto or Quark Drive, can those be overwritten with Doodle? I don't think so.
I do not believe so.
Okay, that's unfortunate when your two best mons are are paradoxes, but
You can double Intimidate, though.
that's cute. All right, power. I said Flutter Hands. That's all my notes
I mean,
are.
it's Flutter Hands King Gambit.
Yeah, but I just said Flutter Hands, and I said, all right, 7. That's all I
gave it a
needed.
little bit. I gave it a little bit lower than that because it's just. I think you need a little bit more than just those 3 Pokemon to play the power. Arcanine adds some because it does at least have offensive sets, but like after that, it's Noivern, and if Noivern is not actually that strong.
Yeah. And then utility, we both gave it a 9. I said it checked a lot of boxes, and there's some good redundant pieces. So, like, there's Fake Out, there's multiple redirection, multiple Tailwinds, Arcanine with all of its support moves. Grafaiai is another kind of support mon, which is nice. And you can go into Trick Room if you want it with Slowbro, so.
Yeah, the Trick Room with Iron Hands, not terrible. Honestly, this team can actually probably get Trick Room up extremely reliably in any given matchup.
Yeah.
Even if it does rely on Furret to do so.
I just hope he does better with Flutter Hands than I did last season. Because
I think this team.
this team's definitely
this,
better than what I had probably, but my team
this
is garbage,
this
so.
this team going into the utility score a little bit, where this team is, I think, the most utility team we've seen pretty much of both divisions so far.
In your opinion, yeah, this is the only 9 you've given because you really like Arcanine.
Oh no, it's because this team does nothing but utility.
Okay, well, yeah, but we ignore that fact. I mean, when you have, like, Flutter Hands,
Oh, and I
King
just pulled my
Gambit...
headphones up. One
like,
second.
oh, good, he can't hear me.
Okay, should be good now.
Alright, yeah. I mean, when you have Flutter Hands and King Gambit, do you need anything else? Not really. You can just support those to death and make them work.
Yeah, I mean that's the plan for this team. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I think Meganium actually does a pretty good job at that too, because it's the ground resist for your Iron Hands and King Gambit in this situation. Obviously, fire types still kind of run through both of them, but that's what Arcanine's for.
Exactly. All right, let's go to number 3, which is the one that we very much differed a lot on.
Oh boy.
The Smoliv. So, yeah, Raging Bolt, Farigiraf, Primarina, Meowscarada, Illumise, Articuno, Rhyperior, Tauros, Cop, and Haunter. So, my balance score... Hold on, let me find it.
It was 34. Or your balance score was 10. Your total score was 34.
Where is... Okay, there you go, yeah. Yeah, I said the balance score was a 10 to me. The only thing that I was upset about was your Fairy Resist were Cop and Haunter. But not specifically judging those 2 mons, I thought everything else was perfect. The speeds were good. You have a mix of offenses. You have a mix of good typings. I thought it was perfectly balanced as everything should be.
It's a little bit heavy on the special attackers as well.
Yeah, but that's where I think Meow, Rhyperior, and Tauros, and I guess Cop to some extent really help that as well.
Yeah, they help it. Like, it's not so bad it's a problem. And when you have Illumise with fake tears and stuff, that's probably for the best that that's your line.
Yeah.
But, like, on this team, I think Rhyperior might have some problems applying its power because it doesn't have a whole lot of friends that it can switch in with, or switch in for.
Yeah. For versatility wise, I gave it high because I think Raging Bolt again can be built to beat whatever you need Raging Bolt to beat. I will die on that hill that Raging Bolt is a very customizable mon.
Even if so, I just don't think the rest of the team warrants it being that high.
Okay, well you're just a hater. But
Like the rest of
Farigiraf
the
can
team,
set up or do support stuff. Primarina can set up or, like, I guess just go all out offense. Illumise is a prankster bug that can do a ton of different things as well. Tauros can burn things for you and like bulk up or just attack.
yeah, I mean, maybe mine should have been a little bit higher, but yours is so high, I think it averages out just fine.
It's probably fine, yeah. I just like Raging Bolt. All right,
Uh,
power leans on the more special end, but there's immediate offense in Meowscarada, which I like. Maybe could have been a little bit more on that end, but there. I mean, I like some.
Yeah, I mean,
I like some of the options on the attacking side. So
the power, there's quite a bit of power here to the point I maybe should have gone 8 on it myself, but it's really some of it can be hard to apply in certain situations, though you do have Illumise to enable fake tiers to amplify some of that as well. Like it's a tough team to rate power wise because it's kind of all over the place with how it wants to apply it.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And then utility, I went with a 7. You went way lower. I said no fake out, but prankster bug and the giraffe for no priority, as well as having Tauros with the will-o-wisp and intimidate. Raging Bolt can use electroweb and snarl if you're into that, and then there's a haunter. I gave it a 7.
The utility on this team is Tauros, Articuno, Illumise, a little bit of Farigiraf for the most part. Like there's a couple
the
moves
Farigiraf ability though is very valuable utility, I think. Like being able to just say I don't care about fake out, I don't care about priority attacks, I don't have to worry about any of those. And if you can get use out of Farigiraf, then it's good.
What spot did we place Pumpkin? He was going in. I don't remember.
You were 10th. You were 10th. There you go. You can rewatch the VOD whenever I post this. But we can go to the next thing where I'm not going to talk. Go ahead.
Hey, wait, I have the floor to talk about Annihilate now? Let's go.
You get to talk about my team, yes. If you're Lord Arcanum, if you're listening, he's going to spill everything because I'm not going to.
I will cover that. I will cover that Annihilate default has 2 sets, one of which we saw with Mauschel in the last team that had Annihilate from the previous division. But it's got 2 main sets. It has some offshoots from that I won't go into for reasons of it would take too long. But the main set is it's got a Scarf set which runs Final Gambit and some offensive coverage, and then it's got the standard Rage Fist bulk up leftovers really bulky set where it's just trying to get hit a bunch of times and kill you with a giant Rage Fist, basically. Yeah. That's the common Annihilate sets. But overall, this team, Qianpao, Annihilate, Zapdos, Heatran, Comfey, Blastoise, Meowstic, Torterra, Cinccino, Venonat. I think the Venonat could be better, but at least it's not useless.
Yeah.
Overall,
balance score, I gave myself a 6 because I said the stats were good, and I'm lacking a dragon, so taking fire and water attacks are harder.
I gave him a 7, so a little bit higher for me there, because I think the Qianpao, Annihilate, Zapdos, Heatran, and then you have a decent bulky water type in Blastoise. Grass type could be interesting how it goes, but it is still a decently bulky grass type in Torterra. So, like, you have options there for that. You have a good fairy resist. You have a good ground immunity and ground resist. Like, you have a lot of the key tools that a team's going to look for with this kind of structure.
Yeah.
And, like,
versatility-wise, I went with a 7 and I pointed out Meowstic, Annihilate, Blastoise, and Comfey can do a wide range of things. So, Lord Arcanum, you will have to guess what all of them do.
So I gave it an 8, actually. So Zapdos, Heatran, pretty versatile mons. Annihilate, we covered a couple sets. It's got a few. It's got options. Qianpao has 1 set. The only thing that changes the item. and maybe like one coverage move. But it's got one set. Comfey's got a couple options. Blastoise a couple options, albeit a bit worse. Meowstic has a bunch just because Prankster Mons almost always do. Torterra has one or two. Like it's whether it's playing offense, it's playing support. Pretty much, it's two. Cinccino's got a couple. It's got on this team. It can play pump up the Annihilate strategy. It can play.
Bro, just leaked it. God, I was hoping you were just gonna say Cinccino was fake, but now you leaked of what it's gonna actually do on this team. God dang it! Oh, I'm so close to getting away with it. There was a funny.
To be fair, you'd only get away with it for 1 week before somebody
correct.
saw it anyway.
Well, so I was talking to Sick about my team, and he was like, "Do you have a beat up mon, or are you choosing not to use it?" So I sent him a screenshot of Cinccino with Rock Blast, and I said, "The answer to your question is no." Dang it! I almost got away with that.
I mean, you knew I knew what Cinccino did on this team.
Well, yeah, but it's all right. I mean, when am I gonna bring Cinccino, right? Right.
Yeah, definitely not almost every single week or anything.
All right, power. I went higher than you because I have played with this kind of team. I've played with the top 4 before, and I know how strong those are. So I went with an 8. You went with a 6. But I think
so. Like I said,
yeah.
I think the top 4 do have a ton of power. I agree with that. Hell, I'm playing one of them in a constructed Reg F team right now. But I think it's the rest of the team that drags this power score down a little bit because like you don't have a ton throughout the rest of the team. You don't necessarily need it to win games, but just to get a 10, you kind of have to have all the mons be hitting hard, and I don't think you get quite high enough. Obviously, I gave you a 6. You gave yourself an
8.
Was it a 7 or an 8? An 8, yeah.
I actually
think to
wrote
get
specifically core 4 do great damage, the rest lack. That's what I said. I'm well aware.
Apparently, Arcanum just assumed Cinccino knew beat up. Which is kind of funny in and of itself.
Part, but hey, you'd figure it out.
No, you just tear a tail slap. Fine.
Yeah. Utility, I gave myself a 9. I said Prankster Dork, Comfey, Redirection, Tailwind, and Fake Out on multiple mons.
I gave it a 7 because, like, yeah, you definitely have utility tools in Cinccino, Venonat, Meowstic, Comfey. Some of them kind of overlap a little bit with what they do, and then Heatran has some utility, so it's Zapdos, Tailwind, and some other utility as well. But it's not perfect in its utility or what it needs, and having everything, but it's not bad by any means.
Yeah. I have a lot more healing than a lot of teams do with Blastoise and Comfey.
Yet we've still seen like a team that had more healing. I think it was 2 people ago, which is kind of funny.
I have a lot of healing apparently too.
You do.
All right, and then that leaves with one more team, and that is the sharpest tool in the shed. Yes, I reused that joke. No, I don't care. Saw and his Rillaboom, Volcarona, Iron Valiant, Salamence, T-Tar, Rotom Wash, Hisui Zoroark, Excadrill, a mon that's never coming, and then another mon that's never coming. All right.
There's a slim world where one of them shows up, and it's not the Ice Cube.
Balance-wise, I said everything works. Speeds are fine, typings are fine. A little frail, but I don't have anything directly negative to say about like the balance. Like everything just kind of works.
I mean, this team's got fantastic balance. It's got like everything covered here. Like outside of a little bit of a defensive backbone, which I think that Ice Use slot maybe you can find something to do with it for free, or maybe move the Zoroark for something. Because Zoroark isn't bad for this team; it's just not needed.
I mean, there's also, like, what are you disguising Zoroark as on this team? Like, Volcarona, a Valiant that you don't have booster on, Moxie Ments, I guess, if you're into that, like, Rotom, Drill.
I mean, you just lead Excadrill, T-Tar.
Like, you can't bait it with Rillaboom, you can't bait it with T-Tar, you can't really bait it with Ments.
Yeah, the mon you'd want to bait it with is the T-Tar, but you can't.
But then
it's not even like you could fake its other ability. Its other ability is Unnerve. It still announces itself.
Yeah.
I feel like that Zoroark maybe could be something to fix that defensive backbone, but overall, really balanced team, really solid construction.
Yeah. Versatility wise, my note was my score actually kept rising as I looked at the team, which is funny. 5.
I think mine did as well.
Volcarona and Valiant and Mence are very versatile mons. The rest are a little bit predictable, but just what Valiant, Volcarona, and Mence can do was enough.
I think Rotom is also pretty versatile because Rotom can go from a really bulky set to an extremely defensive support set pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then Excadrill is a little bit interesting because Mold Breaker and Sand Rush require completely different prep, even if the set is identical for both.
Yeah, that's fair. Power, we were both in agreement this was a very powerful team. You went 8, I went 9. I said it's got that power. Fast hard hitters and more weighting in the wings.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Hippo and Ice Cube bring that down a little bit. And Rotom...
I didn't even look at those 2 mons. This is an 8-mon team.
I'm factoring in all 10 for the purposes of ranking, except for a certain mascot pick from a certain Chessman lover. That was the only one that was excluded, because that truly will never have a chance of showing up.
He's going to bring it, watch. All right.
He'll bring it once he's clinched playoffs or once he's out of playoffs. Yeah. But
utility, Tailwind, Intimidate, Redirection, Volcarona, and then whatever Iron Valiant wants to do.
Encore, Coaching, you got Tailwind from the Salamence, you got Will-O-Wisp, Thunderwave, a couple of things from the Rotom.
Yeah.
There's a joke in here. There's a joke in here about SmackDown on T-Tar, which I don't even remember if that's still in the game.
I don't know. It's a good point. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
not much to say. Like, this was a good team. Very good team.
Yeah, I don't like this team is just high scores across the board. Like,
yeah.
This is the one team I think has a chance to rival Enola from the other division.
Yeah. And that will do it as we take a look. Here's the big screen of all the scores for each team. This is in draft order, not in the rankings order, but so you can just see kind of how everything went about. Enola was the highest score total with 30.5. Saw had a 30. And I think me and Sick had about the same score. I had a 28. What was
you would be. It would go you and then Junebug actually the way they ranked it.
Sick was actually a 26.5. Yeah.
You brought down Sick's average a lot.
Which is funny because I said I liked his team. Like I told him I talked to him about his trades. I really like his team. It's just funny that my score was low. Oh, yeah, versatility. I put a 4. Yeah, that's why. All right. Well, and then he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He's clicking buttons. So, all right.
Yeah.
That is going to do it for the power rankings. Just over 2 hours, so not too bad. Thank you, Nightfront, for joining me for this installment. Thank you all to who is watching live, because without that, there'd be no point of doing this. And I'm looking forward to watching some games. There's 3 games at the time of this recording that you can watch, with more coming. So, yeah. Cherish Ball Champions. Anything else you got to add?
I'm just glad I don't have to play this format.
Well, with that, I am the Spade, and my guest is the Nightfront, and we are out.